basically the general idea of this is there's so many superstars in the NBA and so many guys get these supermax contracts. And it feels like a supermax should only go to a guy that you're really trying to win a championship around, right? All the best teams, they have their cornerstone, right? The Bucks have Giannis. Obviously, you would build around Giannis. You know, the Golden State Warriors have Steph Curry. Obviously, you would build around Steph Curry. But I've got some kind of young stars that, you know, may not have gotten their full chance, but they may be a little bit young. But let's talk about a couple of players, and I'll bring them up, you know, as we go, about whether or not you would want them as your cornerstone key piece in building a championship team. Now, this could be a championship team this year, or it could be giving them, you know, a 5-year deal to your team to be the guy. All these guys, I think, would be valuable on a team that's contending if they were a number 2. But could they be a number 1, you know, at some point in their career that you would want to build around? Because I feel like there's too many guys that, you know, I'm sorry to Bradley Beal. You know, I love his loyalty. I really respect his loyalty, but he's not going to be the number 1 on a championship team. He could be a great 2, but you don't want to build around him if you're trying to win the championship. Now, if you're wanting to just, you know, compete, you can build around Beal. But let's start off with Mr. Zion Williamson, because Zion, obviously, number 1 overall pick, freak athlete, dominant rookie season when he played. Is he a guy that you would want to build around? You know, taking into concern the injury history, the weight problems. What do you think about him as your cornerstone piece of a franchise?
To be honest, you know, there is a lot of question on Zion because of what you said, right? The injuries and, you know, the media coming out with weight problems and stuff like that. And it's kind of like an uncertainty, but I love Zion, you know, and I don't even think the weight standards are really an issue. You know, I read something on the media that came out just a few weeks ago about how there's a weight clause, you know, within his contract, but continuing to read a little bit more, I was reading that weight clauses are something that's standard in almost every single contract, you know, so that seems like something that the media was trying to just, you know, scoop and, you know, get a story out of, which is unfortunate. But you've seen him at Duke, and when he was healthy, you've seen that potential in him, you know, like he's a beast from what I've seen. But it goes very well into what I said earlier. There is an uncertainty of, you know, his health, and I know it's only been like one injury so far, and, you know, just trying to rehab and get back from that. I do expect a bounce back season from him. Would I have him as my cornerstone? I don't think so. I don't think I would have him as my cornerstone. I just don't feel that confident in that I would want to build around him for the next 5 years, you know, and that's just me today. You know, he could at the end of the season just show exactly what I was expecting, which is he's going to have a bounce back year and just prove like he belongs here. He could do that, but right now I don't know. There's uncertainty. So yeah, I wouldn't put him as my cornerstone right now. Maybe down the line when he proves it, but just not right now.
Yeah, I think he's probably the most interesting guy that I'm going to bring to the table because, like, the talent is so visible. Like, when he's on the court, he's arguably the best player on the court, no matter who he's against. Like, even when he's going up against Giannis, it seems like he's a mismatch. And not the other way around, which is absurd to say. Like, he just goes in, does whatever he wants, jumps higher than anyone, and lays it in or dunks it. And just does everything that you could ask from him. And I know he doesn't shoot the 3 ball really well. He doesn't, you know, create his shot from the outside. But get him the ball in the paint, and the dude's a bucket, which is extremely rare nowadays. Like, even Embiid, who, in my opinion, I think Embiid's the best, you know, center in the NBA. Obviously, Jokic, him 1 and 2. If you say Jokic, I'm totally fine with that. But Embiid is like, okay, you give it to him high post, you know, at the elbow. A lot of times you give him at the 3-point line, and then he'll back you all the way in. Zion is like, okay, let me just post up, and I will be in the paint, catch it, jump up, turn around, and just finger roll it over everyone else, which is you don't see. Giannis catches the ball outside the paint, hits that patented spin move, and then I don't even know what to call it, the Michael Jordan Space Jam reach dunk over everyone else. Rooting against Giannis is very frustrating. It must have been super hard in the NBA Finals because he just does things. It's like you can't do. But Zion, like, give it to him in the paint, and he's a bully. He's one of the few bullies left in the NBA that can actually back it up. Because we got guys like Markieff Morris, but he's kind of trash. But like for me, I feel like I would, because I don't know, hope. I think that's the only reason. Like it's like I hope he turns out, because it's such a wild card right now. He's so physically dominant. I think he plays the right position. He can defend. He has the body to defend. But I'm not concerned about the weight. The dude can jump no matter what. The dude can move no matter what. My concern is the injury history. And a lot of people say, oh, it's the weight, that's why he's getting injured. I don't think so. It's been things where it's like, oh, he landed wrong. Being overweight or not, if you land with a twisted ankle, you have a good chance of getting hurt. It's not like he's going up and, he's getting some Kevin Ware injury where he just like, his body weight just, explodes his leg or something like that. It's like, no, he's still jumping 40 plus inches off the ground. He's just, for some reason, that big body is just a little bit fragile. But I mean, if you get a season of him healthy when you're building around him, you're a true contender. And I say that, thinking like 3 years in the future, because we haven't seen Zion play in like almost 2 years. It's been, a year and a half or something like that. But I feel like I would build around him, but like it would be if I'm a general manager, I would be thinking very long and hard about it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And honestly, those Pelicans, I think that's going to be an actually fun team, but also a scary team. I don't think they're a playing team. I think they're a playoff team. We've seen what they did just towards the end of the season. They traded for CJ McCollum, but you add Zion to that mix, and I think that's a very scary group. I love Zion, and he's a freak athlete, just as you mentioned earlier. And you're right, he is like a bully. And I would love to have him on my team, and anyone would love to have him on their team. I think, again, just for me, it's just I want my confidence level to be a little bit more until I'm like, this is the guy I want to build around for sure for the next 5 years.
Yeah. I mean, that's a very valid concern. A lot of GMs, I think, would have your side on that.